Your Fitness Business Podcast Snapshot. Where is the best place for fitness businesses to spend their marketing dollars? What is the fastest way owners can boost their marketing ROI? And the importance of the online review. All of that and more coming up in today's episode. Welcome back to the Fitness Business Podcast, the industry's leading business podcast for fitness owners and managers. I am your host, Dory Nugent, and I hope that you are having a great start to the week. This week's show is number 340 with guest Nick Parker from Lead Lion Marketing. But before we get started, let's hear a word from our podcast partner, Team Rockstar Fit.
Team Rockstar Fit is an award-winning mastermind team that helps fit pros lead happy and balanced lives. Get mentoring and support. Learn how to grow your business online with Beachbody. You can apply for a free consultation today at teamrockstarfit.com.
Nick Parker is the founder and CEO of Lead Lion, a fitness marketing agency that helps fitness businesses accelerate their growth. He has over 23 years of fitness industry experience. He's been a speaker. He leads fitness teams through business development and trainings. And he has also worked in the trenches as an operator, owning his own fitness facilities. Nick has some great marketing advice for everyone listening today, so let's hear what he has to say. Marketing your fitness business with expert Nick Parker is our topic today. I'd like to welcome you to the show, Nick.
Hey, Dory. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. How you doing?
I'm very well. You're from Lead Lion Marketing, which I believe is located in Orlando, Florida.
Yes, it is. We're not too far away from Disney. Everybody knows where that's at.
Yeah, and I was saying you're not too far away from me. We probably could have met in person and did something fun. We could have did like an in-person one-on-one interview. That would have been great.
That would have been great. Maybe next time. We'll do that for sure.
That's for sure. Marketing is always a popular topic with our FBP family, so I'm excited to dive in. I have a feeling that you have a lot of listeners out there waiting for all sorts of information. They've got their pens, they've got their pencils, or they've got their laptops waiting to write some of your good information down. Well, I'm going to get right to the point. Let's get your first question in there. And that is, where is the best practice for fitness businesses to spend their marketing dollar and why?
It's a great one, Dory. There's so many places to spend money right now. You have a certain allocated budget every month for your fitness business, whether it's, $500 to $1,000 a month or 10,000 or 100,000, depending on the size of your company. And you have so many choices to choose from. You could do Facebook or Instagram or Google or direct mail, email, TV, radio, text, grassroots. And the list goes on, and then there's nuances inside of that. Right now, the cheapest and the best bang for your buck is still Facebook primarily, and then secondarily be Instagram. You're going to get the most amount of reach for the least amount of money, and you're going to see the biggest return on your investment because you can get the cheapest lead cost on those platforms right now across the board. And that's still true. And that's been true for the last several years.
Yeah, we were just talking about this earlier today when I say we, the team here at the podcast. And one thing that we struggle a little bit with is reach on our Facebook and our social media platforms and engagement. So if you're telling us to go there, do you have any advice on how we can increase our engagement?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times, I think what you're talking about, Dory, is on your actual business pages. And I think it was back in maybe 2018, Facebook changed their algorithm for business pages to where it throttled the reach organically. So it went from reaching almost everyone on your page to maybe 3 to 6% of the people that are connected to your page. So the fastest way to pour gasoline on the fire is to run Facebook ads and actually put a little bit of ad spend behind it. Then you can set up your targeting. Then you can set up your audiences. You can run retargeting ads. There's so many different ways to do that. And it's extremely powerful. And it's still, comparatively speaking to other channels, extremely cheap compared to a lot of other channels.
Do you have any advice on targeting when you do the ads?
Yeah. So for fitness businesses, I'll tell you, we see the highest engagement rates between 25 to 55-year-old females, and specifically 25 to 45-year-old females have the highest engagement. So if you're a fitness business that has a strong bend or female demographic, that's an automatic win right away. But that doesn't mean the male demographic is not on there either. They're definitely on there. They're engaged. They're signing up for stuff and offers. So it works as well. But that's where you're going to want to live. And then you can also think about, do I live near a college town? Do I have a senior citizen population? And then you have to start working within specific parameters at that point. But don't worry about that. If you want the best, I'm talking about return on investment, your best ROI, the cheapest leads, the best leads. It's that 25 to 45-year-old female demographic is primarily, but we'll run it a little bit more open than that.
Okay. And how many sources of advertising should we be using every month?
As many as you can afford. So let's talk about this. This is a big one. So a lot of times we put all our eggs in one basket and we'll run some grassroots marketing or put some flyers or do direct mail or run some Facebook ads. If you're not running at least 2 to 3 different channels for your marketing and your advertising, getting what's called multi-tribute attribution. So where you're touching your audience and your market area in different ways, you're doing yourself a big disservice. For example, direct mail be an option if you have a strong senior demographic population. Senior citizens may not be on Facebook as much, even though that's growing. And so Instagram for the younger crowd, Facebook for, my age group. And so you're going to want to be on different channels and do everything that you can afford, but no less than at least 2 to 3 is what I recommend.
Okay. And is there I know it varies a little bit from gym to gym, business to business, but is there an overall formula on how much a business should be allocating for their marketing dollars on social media?
That is such a great question. So if we're talking about monthly ad spend on how much you should spend, I'm going to give you a range from top to bottom, and it depends on the area that you're in. So we have gyms that are in much smaller demographic areas that have an audience size of maybe 20,000, 25,000 people, which is considered small. It's more rural, everything's spread out. Maybe there's a lot of farmland, things like that. So something like that, you can get away with $500 to $1,000 a month and be totally fine, which is like 12 to 15 bucks a day, maybe 20 bucks a day on ad spend. So you can start there. Now, if you're in New York City and you've got a 1 mile radius around your club, you're looking at 200 to 250,000 people just on Facebook alone in that demographic between 25 to 55 around that 1 mile radius. So there's no limit. You can go as high as you want, pretty much without, worrying about ad fatigue and frequency rates, people seeing your ad too often. So it depends on your market, but so the bottom end, $500 a month at the very lowest end to start out. And then top end, you could be upwards of $5,000-$6,000 a month or more, depending on how dense your area is and how many locations you have.
I find it interesting. You talked about direct mail and you talked a little bit more about direct mail working more with your older population.
Right.
The club that I worked at, we just did not have good luck with direct mail. But yet, when I talked to Alan Leach, which he's over in Ireland, they do a bang up success with direct mail. So direct mail for me is always one of those like, do you invest? Don't you invest?
Yeah. You know what I say? Here's my recommendation on that. And I'm sure they're killing it over there. I would say use that as a tool 2 times a year, maybe 3 times a year. It's supplementary in addition to. So if you're constantly running your social ads, your Google ads, and you have a strong online presence, you're going to shake the trees a little bit in your local market by direct mail. Plus, when they've seen it online, it'll be more familiar when it lands in their mailbox. So that'll help. Maybe 2 times a year, 3 times a year, do that direct mail.
I don't want to discourage anybody. I'm just saying we get so excited. We send this direct mail out. Our marketing gal would spend all this time on designing this amazing product, and we'd send it out. And then I was in the sales department. We'd birds would chirp, waiting for people to come through with the direct mailer in their hand. And we'd be like, well, got none
Yeah.
today, got one today,
I feel your pain, Dory. I know.
Like, did they get sent out? Like, did they get lost in the
Has it
mail?
dropped yet? You're calling the office. Did any of these go out yet? What's happening? Yeah, they're in some dumpster somewhere.
So you mentioned the three little letters earlier, ROI. What is the fastest way owners can boost their marketing ROI?
Oh, such a great question. So the first thing that I recommend is to stop sending traffic. What I mean is paid ads traffic to your main big website and create a dedicated landing page for that specific offer. You'll immediately see a huge uptick in the amount of leads and conversions that you're going to get for whatever offer you have running at the time. Because what happens is if you're spending all this money on paid advertising and you're sending it to your website, they get lost on class schedules and links and blogs, and there's too many places to go and they're leaking off the website. If they're going to a dedicated landing page into a funnel, then they're going to opt in and you're going to be able to follow up with that prospect and nurture that prospect through the sales process. That's number one. Number two would be split test your ads. A lot of times, health club owners or gym owners or fitness facilities are just boosting posts and doing that. There's no real science behind it. The best thing to do is split test one variable at a time. So if you have ad copy and an ad, you change the image and you split test the images against each other and see which one performs better. And then you can improve your marketing ROI almost immediately, sometimes by 50, 100%, lickety split right away. Third would be low friction offers. If you're looking to generate online leads and you're looking to get a lot more people in the door and walk-ins, you have to have low friction. You can't, Dory, it's kind of funny. It's kind of like asking for a kiss on the first date right before you even shake hands and say, hi, my name is. So you got to take it slow and say, hey, we're going to offer a trial or something like zero enrollment or your first month free, something of great value, but very low friction on the front end. And then the last way that everyone listening can boost their marketing ROI is to start really investing and thinking about how you want to do your follow-up systems, whether it's people calling, texting, emailing, and doing all the above. And that should be 6 to 12 touches. Most conversions happen after the 5th touch. So if you have an email go out, a text message go out, a voice call go out and they leave a voicemail and then there's a little bit of back and forth, by the 5th or 6th touch, they're significantly more likely to convert into a paying member.
All right. So I'm going to ask you this question and I'm going to just reword it a little bit because you did answer part of it. So here's what I'm going to say. Besides bad photos, what are some of the biggest mistakes you see gyms and fitness businesses making with their marketing and lead generation that with your advice, they could change right away?
Yeah, so I did allude to some of it already, but I'm going to back up and say the first thing really that we see a lot of is just not advertising at all. I'm actually kind of blown away by the number of fitness companies that come to us and really haven't been doing any advertising. And you can't expect to grow if you're not doing some sort of advertising and marketing. So first of all, you have to make sure that it's in your budget. We work with a lot of big national franchises as well. And a lot of the franchise agreements have, hey, you have to spend a certain dollar amount every single month to live up to your franchise agreement. And in order for you to be successful, and a lot of them don't even do it. So what I want to encourage you is when you're thinking about marketing, don't look at it as an expense. Look at it as an investment into the future growth of your business to reach more people, get more people in the door and on membership, and it will pay off later. We talked about the images. The other one is not keeping images up to date. So a lot of times taking pictures and video for busy health club operators or gym operators or fitness business operators, there's a lot going on. And so keeping photos and videos and images up to date and always producing new content is a struggle. So here's my advice. Dedicate one of your front desk people or somebody who likes to have an iPhone or a camera in their hand and make them the media coordinator. So that way they are constantly taking fresh pictures, new pictures, current pictures, and use those in your ads. That will help tremendously, and it makes your brand current and it helps the Facebook algorithm. And I could talk about this for an hour, but that's the gist of that. And then the last thing I see is that there's no follow-up system in place. one of the things that we give up too early, we call somebody and then, oh, they didn't come in. It's too late. They're never coming back in. The follow-up system is huge. Nurturing your list with your email and constantly following up, text message, voice calls, things of that nature. It's powerful once you get past that 5-touch point, what you'll see happen in your business and how it'll accelerate your growth.
You mentioned about making sure your pictures are update and current. I
Yes.
think it's way more important now than ever because with COVID, I get a chuckle sometimes. You see commercials on TV and they put a little disclaimer at the bottom, like this commercial was shot pre-COVID.
Yes. Can I tell you a story about that real quick?
Please.
So we were running some ads and the ads didn't have masks and everybody was just blasting those ads with negative comments because there was no masks in the pictures. So what we started doing was timestamping the date. This was a prior year, like you just said, but we actually ran one with masks and they crushed it. It depends on the state you're in. Every state's at different places. You know how that goes, but depends on where you're at, and they crushed it. And so it is true that it needs to be relevant. Keep your media up to date as much as you can.
Yeah, you would think that, like, I see a commercial, I don't think twice if they don't aren't following COVID protocol. Cause I don't know. I'm just like, it's probably a pre-COVID commercial, right. But I guess some people, that's very important to them. So, you know.
And it's easy to hate online. So it's easy to make negative comments.
Really?
Yeah. Never seen that before.
No, not at all. And, it's funny. You talked about one of the biggest mistakes that you could make is not marketing. I get the biggest kick out of these fitness facilities that have been forever in their neighborhoods forever. And there are still people in the communities that don't know they exist. And I think sometimes the mistakes that the clubs make is they're like, oh, we've been here 30 years. Everybody knows that we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. And it's I don't want to say that it's like a pride thing, but it's kind of just the assumption, like, I've known my business has been here so long. How could anybody else not know it's here? Right. But you'd be surprised. There's transient people moving in and out of the area all the time. There's kids being born. Now they're 14, 15 years old and they're ready to join your gym. They've never heard of it. So you should always be advertising and always be marketing. That's absolutely critical.
Yeah. And somebody maybe that's naturally thin and never really focused too much on health and wellness might have just never paid attention. And now maybe they have had a health issue come up and now they're like, oh, wait, I have to pay attention. And, where are the health clubs at around me? So.
Yeah, that's good. And that, people are different buying stages. So you have some people that are shopping, they're actively looking for a place to join. Then you have some people that are kind of thinking about it and haven't really had like an emotional trigger where like, I have to do it now, but it's on their radar. And then you have some people that it's just not even on the radar. And when you're doing marketing, like running Facebook ads and getting in front of them, you're taking the people in the third group that it's not even on the radar or thinking about it and causing them to think about it. The people that are in the middle, that it's kind of on the radar, stirring that emotion, you stirring that desire and moving them into high intent, which I want to buy, I want to go get in shape now. So you're moving people through the buying process a lot quicker by doing some of that advertising.
All right. So 2021, we're starting a new year. Just give me like one major piece of advice going forward that you think every club owner should be doing with their marketing?
I think right now I would maybe start paying closer attention to your online reputation, especially reviews. People have a lot of first starts and interaction with brands by doing research and looking. So if you have 15 different gyms to choose from in your area, you're going to go straight to the review list and say, okay, if I don't have a referral from a friend, I'm depending on strangers who have reviewed my facility to convey the message, is it a good or not good place? And a lot of people from past experience are really gun shy about joining gyms, getting locked into contracts, because back in the day when Bally's existed and all that, and they would get sued. And so there's a little bit of pushback when it comes to joining a gym and being pushed into something they don't want. So if you have a lot of really good reviews on all of your Facebook pages, and then also Google, maybe Yelp, that'll go a long way. And if you do have some bad reviews, it's not the end of the world, but try to get those buried by all the good reviews so it outweighs. And that will help you a long way, because then they'll come into your gym pre-sold already from the good reviews, and it'll bring their guard down. And it's just that's where every sale starts. So people are always going to look you up before they come in.
So would you say that working on getting more Google reviews, like starting to reach out to your members that have been there forever, or even people that are newer that you know are completely satisfied, reach out to them to get them to leave some reviews would be a good idea?
Yeah, there's several ways to do it. There's actually software tools that you can automate that process. So when they sign up, they go in there and then it solicits them to review you on like Facebook and Google and everywhere else. The other thing to do is at the point of sale, when they come in and sign up, that's the time when they are the most excited and the most happy and the most likely to refer friends and family. So not only do you want to ask for referrals, you want to get them to review, and you can say, hey, we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a review. We'll throw in a t-shirt, some brand swag or something like that for the time that you spent. And a lot of times people would be more than glad to do it. And then what happens is every month, you're just building and building and building all these great reviews. So by the time you have 500, 1,000 reviews, nobody's even thinking of joining another gym or fitness center in your area because they're like, this must be the best place in the area. There's nowhere else I should go.
Yeah, I like that advice. I haven't heard that at all. So I really, really like that piece of advice. The one thing I do want to just expand upon on that is sometimes when I do go onto a company's site and I do see bad reviews, there's many companies where the owner or the manager responds to the bad review. And I don't know about you. I don't know if it's the right thing or wrong thing, but that makes me feel better. I like when they address the bad review. What do you
I do too. Yeah, and I agree with you on that, but it depends on what the owner says. I've seen some replies that should not be on there, I'm telling you. But you're right. Yeah, if you have somebody who is really, I don't want to use the word eloquent, I guess, but really good at softening that, hey, they're apologetic, there's no pride involved, and they're saying, we're sorry about your experience. We really care about our customer experience. We want to make it right. If there's anything we can do, please call this number. We'll get your issue resolved right away. If that's the kind of reply, that does really create and soften that barrier and really helps people to relax about it. So you should reply to every bad review. If you don't, then you look guilty.
Yeah. And that's where I was going. I was going to the fact that, okay, there's a bad review and the owner or manager's on there saying, yeah, hey, I'm sorry. Hey, we want to make it right. Because I'm like, hey, you know what? At least they're paying attention. At least they care about what people are writing on their website. And, whether they do make it right or not, I don't know. But makes me feel better when I see there's a response.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time I made a purchase without at least looking at a review real quick if I knew nothing about the place or even like restaurants or everything. Everyone's review crazy, so you're going to look at that. So reputation management's important. And that's something that you can get done for you and outsource it if you don't have the time to.
Get your pen ready now for Keep Me's Fit Bizpiration.
What are your 3 timeless tips for marketing a fitness business no matter when people listen to your show?
Number 1, make sure you have the mindset of always going to be investing in your sales and in your marketing every single month. The most successful companies always are taking the time and investing in marketing and refining their sales. Number 2, nurture your leads over and over again. Never stop. There's a saying, they need to either buy or die. So nurture those leads forever and ever and ever, and you'll see a swell of growth. Number 3, think about your customer journey regularly and manage your online reputation, especially reviews and how you're pictured online, because that's the first place that everybody starts when it comes to joining your facility.
Keep Me. Smarter member retention. KeepMe.ai.
It's time to get back to our episode. Wow, Nick, lots of good information, a lot of information that for me, I've heard for the first time.
Dory, I'm so glad. I hope that your listeners got some great value out of today. It's exciting to be here. Hope to see you again soon. And you're a rock star host. Keep up the great job.
Thanks. I'll tell you what, my 2 favorite things that you said was manage your online reputation. That's something new. Actually, I might steal that. I'm hoping to speak at a conference in the fall, and I might
incorporate that a little bit into my presentation. And then I just want you to talk about like customer journey. And also, my third thing would be when you talked about the wording on your marketing and making sure it feels welcoming and the word of family. I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know we went over a lot today. So if you guys are looking for a resource, we have the ultimate lead generation and digital marketing checklist for gyms, fitness facilities, and health clubs on our website. Just go to leadlinemarketing.com. You can grab it for free right there, and you'll have the full checklist of things that you need to be thinking about.
I'd like to give a sincere thank you to Nick Parker for taking time out of his busy day to share his expert advice on marketing in 2021. And hey, if you get a chance to go to Disney, make sure you look Nick up and let him know that you heard his episode on the Fitness Business Podcast. All right, it's time for a few words from our podcast partner, Tribe Team Training.
Are you interested in increasing your center's income and your trainer's income from small group training? Tribe Team Training is the new way to get more members engaged in small group training and paying extra. Click the Tribe Team Training link in the show notes or go to tribeteamtraining.com.au/podcast for your free formula to see how much income you can make from small group training.
Quickfire 5.
Next up, Brittany Welk answers my Quickfire 5 questions. Brittany Welk is our guest today for our Quickfire 5 questions. Brittany is the co-owner of Lady Strong Fitness, and she is a performance consultant at Loud Rumor. Welcome to the Quickfire 5 questions.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right. The audience knows this is my favorite part. So let's dive in. What is a business or life lesson you learned from one of the jobs you did when you were younger?
Oh man, always have a mentor. Like having coaches and mentors is so important. And it doesn't have to be a paid coach. It could just be somebody in your life, somebody in your circle, a friend, a family member, but just get a coach and get a mentor and they'll help you guide you through life. So that's definitely a life lesson.
Great. And number 2 is, if you were not doing what you are doing now, what would you be doing?
Singing. I love singing. Yeah, music would be definitely a second career path for me because I love performing and singing, and I did it as a kid. I almost went to school for music business, so music, definitely.
Oh, that's so cool. I always say I think I stepped out of line when talents were being handed out for singing talents. Not good. All righty. Number 3, when you write an autobiography, what will be the title?
Inspiration leader is what I hope to be. I feel like everybody I talk to and I coach and I work with, and even the team at Lady Strong, like I'm always the motivator and the inspirer. And I always come with like the motivational quotes, or I always close things out with a bang. So it's definitely something with inspiration in it because I feel like that's really what I do.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, somebody needs to be the motivator. So yeah. I'm glad if you're in the building, you're our go-to gal.
Yes.
All right. What is a book you recommend to everyone listening?
Oh, The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. That is the #1 business book that if you are an entrepreneur, even 10 years into this, you should pick up for the first time because it will tell you so much about your business and how to make it successful. So that's definitely #1.
All right. That's a popular book. So
yeah.
If listeners out there, if you haven't read it yet, make sure you pick up a copy. And you can find that actually on our show notes. All right, last one. Here we go. Give us your best sales pitch. Why our listeners should come back next week to hear your wisdom.
If you want to own a business that runs and not run a business that you have to be in day to day, if you want to know how to automate your business and be able to have the time freedom that you desire, then you definitely need to come back because I not only co-own a studio, but I get to do a dream job every single day, all day long at the same time.
All right. Well, you heard it straight from Brittany. Make sure you come back next week as she talks about how automating staff training transforms your business. Here is a message from our podcast partner, MX Metrics.
Member experience is more than just NPS. With MXM's Member Experience Toolkit, you build a unified view of the member experience, from purchase to onboarding to everyday usage and cancellation. Wire your entire organization with actionable feedback using MXN's Member Experience Toolkit. To find out more, go to mxmetrics.com.
Head on over to the show notes at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com to learn more about our guest, Nick Parker, and Lead Lion. Next up, a message from our founding partner, Active Management.
Hi, FBP family. It's JT from Active Management, the founding partner of the Fitness Business Podcast. Thanks to the amazing technology at our fingertips, we can now work with clients all over the world. But right now, you can join the free online Active Management Facebook community. It's an amazing group of people just like you. Sure, I share weekly resources, but it's the power of the community that you will experience that will make this your go-to Facebook group. Remember, it's free, fun, and inspirational. Go to facebook.com/groups/Active Management Community.
What you leave behind is not what's engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.